Hello everyone, and welcome to my Y and Our American Tea Show official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At the club, Billy gets Jill's text requesting him to call her in the morning and warning that his time is running out to mend things at Chancellor. Taking a seat at the bar, he pushes buttons on his phone. At Crimson Lights, Lily answers her phone and asks, "What do you want, Billy?" He wants to discuss. She wonders if he's still running Chancellor. He says he is. She informs him they have nothing to talk about then. Billy pleads with her to meet him for one drink. "I promise you won't be sorry." Nate welcomes Amy into his flat. She's anxious to learn if he's made up his mind. Will he help her discover his son, your brother? Nate still hasn't decided and wants to know more about his half-brother first. Amy will view that as a positive indication. Nate questions what he's like and how he could abandon his mother like this, having to resort to a stranger. Amy feels like she knows Nate since he's so much like his father. She knows he's a nice man, just as Damien is deep down. He's a complex man. Nate wants to hear more. Amy recalls Damien was a quiet youngster, very studious, and his father was his greatest friend. Jackson died when he was 16, and it was a devastating loss. Nate can imagine. He lost his father at an early age, but it still left a scar. Nate had strong men in his life to come in and fill the vacuum. Amy adds that wasn't the case for Damien. He abruptly lost interest in school and in being a doctor. Nothing seemed to matter to him anymore. They became more and more distant, as though he resented her somehow for his father's death. After a particularly bad dispute, he ran off and she hasn't seen him in several years. He sometimes came around for money, but she had to tell him she couldn't sustain him. She told him he had to get himself together and find purpose. He was upset with her, and she hasn't heard from him since. Nate's sorry. That is a hell of a thing to live with. Amy wonders whether he can see why she's so desperate to make peace with him. Nate can, but doesn't think he's the proper person to find him. Tracy comes into Crimson Lights, where Alan greets her with an embrace. He's grabbed them a table on the terrace and ordered for them. Sitting, Tracy asks him why he doesn't just move in with her already. "Unless you're having second thoughts." She points out they're together all the time. Alan confesses he's paying a lot for a suite he barely uses. He admits he's scared about how her family will react about his moving in. He's also scared that Ashley would be triggered by all the atrocities his brother did to her. Tracy said her sister is looking forward to meeting him. She is thrilled for them, and so is the rest of her family. "They love me, and they're happy that I'm so happy. They know it's because of you." He chuckles as she reminds him it's her house too. Emotional, Tracy says she's waited a long time to be this pleased and doesn't want to miss another second. It feels like a logical progression for them. Alan says, "In that case, I guess I need a key." They kiss. In Summer's suite, she tells Phyllis she can't believe they're burying Heather tomorrow. Phyllis is delighted they convinced him into doing anything little. They debate Lucy and Danny not being there. Phyllis assures they'll do something different at a later date when they can attend. Summer thinks that by then, the true killer will be locked away. Phyllis tells Summer that the service will be the perfect spot to set the trap for Sharon. She's convinced Sharon will finally accept what she did, and then Daniel can start the grieving process. Summer isn't sure that Sharon is guilty. Phyllis says, "You wait until tomorrow. You'll see." Summer asks what makes her think she'll show up. Phyllis is sure she'll come to show everyone she's the true victim. "She'll be there, and I'll be waiting, to give her a real reason to suffer." Lily sees Billy at the club bar and asks, "What's so urgent?" He's ordered her favorite wine as a peace offering. This makes her more dubious of his motivations. Billy tells her he needs her back. "The company needs you back. Everyone misses you." He hates how things have gone between them, and he wants to clear the air. Lily chuckles. She knows the only reason he's sucking up to her is because Jill pushed him to. Billy acknowledges there's been some pressure, which helped him understand that he's come back to Abbott Chancellor. On your conditions, of course. At Nate's apartment, Amy encourages him to give it a little more thinking. Nate just doesn't think he's the proper person to find her son. She disagrees. Nate feels she needs a professional. Once Damien's located, he'll consider getting to know him. Doing it now and springing it on him that he's his brother seems rash. Amy protests that she's running out of time. Nate understands, but they can't just drop this important discovery on him out of the blue. It may do a lot of damage. What happens when he finds out the man he grew up idolizing was not his biological father? If his whole life took a turn for the worst when he died, how will he take finding out that man wasn't even his father to begin with? Amy sits down heavily. She attempted to tell them the truth but couldn't break their hearts. Nate agrees, quite a dilemma. Amy laments being at the end of her life with little time to put everything right. All she knows is that the only way he'll make a family connection after she's gone is to tell him the truth. It's long past time. Nate claims she doesn't need him to find her son. Amy doesn't have the financial resources to hire a detective. She imagined that if he realized he had a sibling, he'd be obliged to take the hunt on himself. So, what do you think? Nate asks, is that it? Is that what this whole affair has been about? Family? Or is this just one giant scam? In Summer's suite, she begs Phyllis to stop for a minute and ponder her history with Sharon. It's going to backfire. Phyllis feels their past is why this will work. She knows how she'll react when her back is up against the wall. Summer contends that Heather's service isn't the place to attempt and prove her theory. Phyllis believes it's exactly the place. Summer regretted trying to do the same thing with Diane. They also can't tamper with Christine's defense. Phyllis scoffs. She doesn't have a case. Summer argues she's good at her work. Phyllis doesn't trust her. Summer yells, "Mom, no, I'm not going to allow you botch this up and make things more worse." Phyllis asks, is it not conceivable she may expose the real killer? Summer admits it's feasible. Phyllis is delighted to hear her admit it, and that she doesn't think she can do it. At the club bar, Lily hears Phyllis is no longer with Abbott Chancellor. She tells him it doesn't matter. There is no chance she'll ever work with him again. Billy thinks she has a right to be upset, but so does he. She admits to planning against him. He acknowledges his mother gave him an ultimatum, but he's not asking her back to appease Jill. He made a mistake when he fired her even though she stabbed him in the back. He let his ego get in the way. Now, he's begging her to recall how fantastic they were together. Lily questions how they're going to trust each other. Billy says they'll put the company first. Phyllis appears with her jaw on the floor as Billy concludes his speech, saying, "Lily, this is the greatest shot they have at preserving the company." Phyllis interrupts and requests to speak to Billy quietly. Lily assumed they weren't coworkers anymore. Billy tells Phyllis he's having a chat with Lily, but Lily says she's heard enough and walks off. Billy complains about Phyllis disrupting his meeting. Phyllis heard him asking Lily to come back after she stabbed him in the back. She had his back. She's starting to think folks are right, and he doesn't know what he's doing. Billy advises her she needs to focus on Daniel. Phyllis can focus on many, many things. Billy tells her to look after her family. He has to defend Abbott Chancellor. At Nate's apartment, he acknowledges he has to question whether Amy's trying to play him. He worries if there's really a long-lost son. Amy can understand why he'd be skeptical. "That's why I brought proof." She brings out Damien's birth certificate and some old photos. Proof this isn't a scam to seize his money. She also has a lock of Damien's hair, so he may get the DNA tested. Proof positive that you're related. Nate asks whether she's sure she wants to give him these. Amy tells him winning his trust is her only hope to see her son again. Nate's starting to understand the logic in how she's handled this. She asks if he believes her. On the coffee house terrace, Tracy tells Alan there's a room just next to hers with room for all of his belongings. Billy comes in and welcomes his sister. Alan shakes his hand, and Billy sits down. Tracy informs him they have wonderful news. Alan's going to be moving into the house. Billy thinks that's terrific. If his sister is happy, he's happy. He asks Jack's with her in Paris. Alan says the doctors think she's turned a corner. Billy adds at least he can look forward to seeing her at the wedding. Tracy asks why she gets the sensation he's not enthused about the marriage. Billy isn't a card-carrying member of Devon's fan club. He urged Lily to make moves on Abbott Chancellor. Tracy's astonished by all of this. Billy tells Alan about his status as a screw-up. Tracy recommends, "Don't fail." Billy says that he can't fail. He informs Tracy that he's facing hits from all sides. Tracy begs him to prove to those folks they're wrong about him. He's trying. Tracy's so sorry. She had no idea he was battling all of this. She wants to be there for him. Billy refuses to lose. "I'm going to battle every enemy that comes my way, even if that includes my mother. I'm done. I can't do it anymore." The gloves are coming off. At Nate's house, he tells Amy he'll look over the things she brought him tonight and make a decision. Amy tells him how being back in Genoa City reminds her of his father. She thinks she's going to get in touch with some long-forgotten friends. Nate sees her to the door, where she informs him Damien is not a nasty person. He's just lost. At the club bar, Phyllis orders another drink and chats to the bartender about being alone. She says she's been to hell and back. "I am tough, but even the toughest of women hit their breaking point, and tonight I have hit mine." She yells that she's being screwed over when she needs true security in her life right now. She confides that she's on a mission right now, the biggest mission of her life. "It's life-altering, and I don't care what anybody thinks of me right now. I don't care. I'm not giving up." She doesn't care what anyone thinks right now. When it comes to saving her son's life, she will not lose this struggle. "I'm proving everyone wrong. I have a plan." So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment below. And if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I will see you guys next time.